are coming up. Come on, I know you're watching, tired chick. Get your ass up here. Get your time to call DOA.
What the fuck is wrong with you people? Past 3 years alone have been fucked.
What? Because I'm protesting? DOA doesn't know what's up. He's protesting pedophiles. Marcus Compic.
Cared about pedophiles. You never gave a shit about fucking Scientology, even Jay, fucking Branson, fucking J6, goddamn Bunker Hill. None of this shit ever fucking mattered to you. None of it mattered, and we all know it. And we were all fooled by it at one time. And there were many of us who tried. We did try to help the people out there now that are figuring it out a year late, but still, we did care. We tried. All along the way, we did try. And you fucked over how many people who really did care.
There's about 50 people on the victim list.
No, we're not victims. Honey, I ain't no victim. Oh, fuck no.
What are you, Vaughn? What are you then, Vaughn, if you're not a victim?
I'm somebody that tried. That's who I am. I'm a fucking nobody who tried. I believe that you are what we had to try to help kids, and you are not that person. What child have you ever fucking helped? What fucking kid have you really helped? What child, Scott? Name me one child you literally fucking saved. In this whole the whole 3 years that I've known you, 2.5, who have you actually saved?
We shut down 1776 already.
Today's date is February 7th. It's a Friday, and the year is 2025. Scott's running around talking about he shut down 1776. Here they are. There's a whole freaking website, and here we go. 1776 restoration groups, resources, U.S. history, photos, blah, 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 videos. Let's go here. Oh, man, they're going to make me sign up. Maybe that's why he thinks he shut them down. Because you got to sign in. You got to sign up to see what's going on. Maybe that's why he thinks he shut them down. It's free to join. You can join. You can find out. But they're still here.
You didn't shut them down. They're still fucking around. Did you fucking shut down the Q camp? No.
Speaking of that, have you guys confirmed the new property address? Yes.
No.
Yeah. Oh, no? Yes? Yes.
I have it somewhere,
yes.
but I don't know.
Yes. Because I thought that maybe I had figured it out, but then I got shut down, so I guess it's in West Virginia? Yeah, it's in Berkeley County. Okay.
Oh, there's
Was 20, because Patriot Q was talking about it being 20 minutes away from Bunker Hill.
It's right on their website, guys. Hello.
His prominent family
Keep up, please.
had access to as much gravel as they wanted. And so I found a different place that I thought it might have been, but if you guys have it locked down, then that's it.
Has anyone seen it with their own eyes?
I don't know. I don't want to be putting that type of info out there, but
Intel Antifa. Intel
Tifa knows things.
We'll say the picture matches the gate.
Here's what I'm saying. Okay, let's talk about that for a minute. Here's what the fuck is the Q called up on the fucking in the mountain? What is it? What are they calling themselves? Q76. What is this group called?
The Million Man March. The
Million Man is something else now.
Million 17.
Yeah, 1776.
No, 1 million patriots.
So my point with that anyway. So obviously we all know that Billy is dangerous, right? But fucking yes. But here's my thing. Right now they're seriously the least of my fucking problems. If they start festering into some fucking gigantic cult as they clear all the brush and get rid of the bears and things, then okay. But right now there's nothing. It doesn't, at least that we've seen on any streams, seems to be any prolific people there other than Billy and Crystal, and they're kind of out in the woods alone and away from fucking everybody else, so maybe that's the best thing. So that fucking area, the kids are there, I'm really not super concerned with that area at the moment, and I really don't I'm concerned about the kids, especially the amount that they wander off, and it's
Hey.
I don't know what it was like.
Can we change the subject on that because of the RO?
Yes.
Can we change the subject?
Yes, sorry.
Yeah, man, we don't want you to get in trouble.
Hashtag haven't been served. Hashtag haven't been served, but yes, let's...
I'm trying my best not to get in trouble. I really am.
It
some of you guys might...
because I haven't been served, so...
Yeah, I know what the situation is. I'm just saying, if we could just move to the next subject.
Move to the next subject. What do you want to do?
Whatever subject besides that one. With those characters. The characters need to change.
Did you shut down Bunker? No.
Everybody was quiet about Brian Dunker going to the border. I'm like, what the hell? So I sent everything I had to pluck regarding the Take Back Our Border convoy and Brian Dunker going to it. And where they were going, the freaking Cornerstone Children's Ranch. It wasn't Scott or anyone else doing the work. And if it wasn't for me getting it to Pluck and Pluck getting it to Lori, Brian Dunker would have been in that children's ranch, okay? And that is a fucking fact. Scott does not give two shits about Dunker, his church front. He's tax exempt. He's a traveling pedophile, registered for life pedophile, who is on a state where he doesn't have to register on that state, but he is on the lifetime registry. They fucking called people out and then left it at that. Left all of us to deal with it. While they gained subscribers, viewers, donators. I'll tell you what, there was way more work watching that fucking sicko for a long fucking time, while everybody else ignored and went about their fucking merry little lives. It was way more work researching that place and everything around it, researching the people who are operating it and running it, researching what they do with children and women, men who are intercepted and not turned over to the fucking border patrol for documentation. It was work going back through and looking at everywhere they've done a convoy or a rally or spoke at or a vendor. That was work. I do appreciate Lori going out to the court and stuff. I give her props for that. There's work being put in to change the fucking law so that motherfucker has to register. And every other motherfucker that's hiding on Oklahoma under that Oklahoma loophole for pedophiles. Where y'all at for that, huh? You only show up when it's time to turn on your camera? Fuck. Why does this group have to keep people that were pulled into this pushed under the fucking rug? Everybody's hiding information. Everybody has secrets.
There was two people that helped in this whole shit show that actually did go and try to shut down Brian. You didn't shut any of that shit down.
Okay. How'd you get started online?
So I'm an OG live streamer in Ice Poseidon. The Ice Poseidon show is where I debuted everything in Los Angeles and Beverly Hills in like 2017. I was dating a live streamer named King Cam, and he brought me into the whole Ice Poseidon saga. Did you ever hear about Ice Poseidon?
Fuck are you? Listen, Strawberry fucking Vision, you fuck.
Hello.
Oh, what's up? How you doing?
Good.
You were not lying. You're really that fucking 13-year-old girl from Japan.
Yeah.
Okay, so... Yeah, for sure. Do you watch my streams?
Yeah, I do.
How old are you?
I'm 13.
13? Wow, that's young. Alright, let's do it. I didn't think somebody like you would watch my streams because you're a bit young. And you're a girl. I have very clear humor. There is a culture out there, okay? I'm actually a pedophile. Because that's the one that messed around with Harvey Weinstein that had those sex tapes or whatever that was. Yeah, that's the girl. That's the one that tried to be all friendly with me and like totally shunned over at the Peace Bridge. Yeah, she was trying to like stream snipe my shit, and I'm like, fuck out of here. He already told her we're gonna talk to him in a little bit. We're gonna do an interview.
I've been behind the scenes since January.
No, we got Kentucky with the devastation. That's right. I was on the phone with the Freedom Outlaws the other night. Hats off to the Freedom Outlaws. We have 2 tractor trailers sitting up in Albany, and they're working on getting 2 tractor trailers for donation goods down to Kentucky. Awesome. And that's the whole thing about you. I was able to get on the phone and talk to these different groups and put this together. I look forward to your phone call.
Yeah, please, just be a man. Call up and
Said some things about me. Well, do your research first.
I get hats. Now, I don't know who's who, but I want to say Freedom Outlaws.
Yeah.
I have no idea who the members are.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I know Gina. Okay, Gina and I were in Vegas down together, and we were at the Freedom Outlaws.
Yeah.
She tagged me on a call out. It's disaster supplies down to Kentucky. I have been sitting on 2 friggin' trailer loads in Albany that I needed trucks to haul.
Okay.
And they went and did it. That's why I said my hats off.
All right, they helped you out. Understandable.
They did that.
Now, you're not familiar with their background, which is understandable.
I have no idea. I know Ramrod's in there, and I know Gina's in there.
Hey Vince, maybe you should practice what you preach. We did research. We did try to warn, but everybody ignored. You know why? Because they already knew.
So, and then, the take a step as we grow. We now have, I don't know, 7 chapters, 8 chapters. But, so, get a hold of me. If you want to get inside the gates, you will Need it. Secret Service is right on top of it.
Yeah, you mentioned you've been working with Secret Service. What's that been like?
Some of the guys are working with them. I haven't worked with them. I'm supposed to meet them today.
You're meeting them today, okay.
So I haven't worked with them. I'm doing the convoy side.
U.S. Department of Health and Human Services whistleblower reveals tax dollars spent to put children in the hands of criminals. Says government is complicit because we don't get sued by trafficker. Migrant child said, my female sponsor would pimp me to men. Freedom Outlaws LLC was updated February 5th, 2025. It's a New Mexico domestic limited liability company. It was filed on June 27th, 2022. 530B Harkle Road, Suite 100, Santa Fe, New Mexico. It was filed in New Mexico. And on this LLC, we have Dennis Jarberry, Jimmy Hamilton, Marcus Copic, Noble Morgan, Nobel. Well, we've seen Dennis Jarberry be violent, and we know Marcus Copic is a lifetime registered on the sex offender list. These are your Freedom Outlaws. These are the men being sent to already devastated areas. These are also the guys at the borders. The government is putting children in the hands of criminals, you need to connect the dots, Freedom Outlaws. I've literally seen YouTube streamers avoid talking about New Mexico. We've seen the 1776 restoration movement, who's now turned into a business. Harper pedophiles in parking lots and campgrounds where there was women and children. They've gone as far as being violent to protect this fact being exposed. Is this why? Are they being paid by the government to move children?
I don't have any problems with anybody here. B, you've helped out everybody here. Is literally what I witnessed today. All hands on deck trying to fix the camp. That's what we're about. So the trolls and all those people that say anything different, they're wrong. They're not here. They don't know what they're talking about. I love you, trolls.
Topic is from Indiana. Why is he registering on New Mexico? Well, take a look at Jeffrey Epstein. He didn't have to register as a sex offender on New Mexico. New Mexico's supposed to be changing that since the Epstein bust. But, however, we just seen the Freedom Outlaws obtain an LLC from New Mexico this year. Gated parking lots. Government paychecks. This alleged weird freedom movement.
You'll never figure out how I get out of jail, do you? That's funny right there. I don't care who you are.
For all you people out there in forever Trollville, if you think that we are not legit, enjoy. Come for me.
Hey, she wishes she had a sugar family, don't she? No, it's ant, squirrel, green squirrel, red squirrel, Jersey Jay. I don't know if Anarchy Princess is here, but they are here. Anarchy Princess and Lori are the ones that are not here. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I guess she's live streaming, but I don't think she's. I don't either, Jerry. No, she's not. I'm sitting here with actually the kids. That's why y'all are facing. People say that she's bisexual. Hang on. Whenever I don't know. I get. Their eyes are not. I know a few people. You know, wave again. Really? Say hi to Lovely. She's doing good. I know about the line. They don't like being feminine. Hey. No. Lily. Sorry. It wasn't a live stream, it's facing me, so.
True, not something I want to say, but I'm fucking tired of people lying. I've watched these people lie, and they'll never fucking tell the truth. So I'm here to tell the truth. What's that? Let me ask you a question, kid. You see that movie? It's a little What about? Come on, let's just
Cover up and protecting the true perpetrators. In such a complex situation, uncovering the truth can be exceedingly difficult. What is the type of government that forces its people into sex slavery by use of police force called? Government that forces its people into sex slavery through the use of police force or any other coercive means is typically considered a criminal regime engaging in gross human rights violations and criminal activity, rather than a recognized form of government. Such actions are illegal, immoral, and violate international human rights standards. Governments are expected to uphold the rule of law and protect the rights and freedoms of their citizens. When a government engages in trafficking, sexual exploitation, or any form of systematic abuse, it is widely condemned by the international community, and efforts are made to hold those responsible accountable for their actions. Why would a government that uses police force to traffic victims use accomplices to play the role of victims in the media? A government using police force to traffic victims and then using accomplices to play the role of victims in the media suggests a complex and nefarious scenario. This kind of situation could arise for several reasons. 1. Propaganda and misinformation. To manipulate public perception and control the narrative. By showcasing fake victims, the government might aim to downplay the severity of the issue or redirect attention to discrediting real victims. By using accomplices as fake victims, any inconsistencies in their stories can be exploited to discredit real victims, thereby undermining genuine cases. 3. Distraction and diversion. It can be a tactic to distract from other government actions problems, keeping the media and public focused on a controlled and misleading narrative. 4. Demonstration of action. The government might use this strategy to create a false appearance of addressing the issues, thereby avoiding international criticism or sanctions. 5. Internal power struggles. Such actions might reflect conflicts within the government or law enforcement, with different factions trying to manipulate public opinion for their own. And 6. Control over law enforcement. It can also be a way to exert control over the police force, ensuring their compliance and silence on a real issue by involving them in the fabrication. It's important to note that these scenarios are highly unethical and illegal, representing a serious abuse of power and violation of human rights. This kind of behavior would typically be associated with authoritarian regime or deeply corrupt governments. What is the type of government called that forces its people into sex slavery using police and covers it up using fraudulent court cases and media lies to fool people into believing that accomplices are victims and perpetrators are dead, to hide that more than 10,000 prominent officials are involved in these forced sex trafficking crimes, who murdered one of their underage victims to keep her silent, which is why the fraudulent court cases and media were created, and that brutalizes her mother for speaking out about the government's forced sex trafficking, and that uses its police to bring false charges every election year because the victim who spoke out was trafficked to the president and his son and many other prominent officials, that also uses intelligence agents to keep the victim from writing a memoir, filing lawsuits, and manipulate it under control. The scenario you're describing involves several serious criminal activities and violations of human rights, including sex trafficking, murder, and corruption at various levels of government and law enforcement. These actions don't align with any legitimate form of government recognized in political science or law. They represent extreme criminal behavior and systemic corruption within a government or state apparatus. In political science, a government that engages in widespread criminal activities, violates its own laws, and abuses its power for personal gain of its officials can be described as a kleptocracy. Kleptocracy literally means rule by thieves, and it's a term used to describe a government where officials are primarily concerned with increasing their personal wealth and political power, often at the expense of the wider population. In cases where a government is involved in systematic human rights abuses, including sexual slavery, it might also be described as a totalitarian regime, especially if such actions are part of broader efforts to control and oppress the population. However, the specific scenario you're describing, involving systematic sex trafficking, false legal cases, and the involvement of a large number of public officials, goes beyond standard political classifications. It represents a severe and criminal distortion of any legitimate form of government, falling into the realm of a criminal enterprise operating within a potentially co-opting state structure.
What treatment is the actual victim who spoke out against such a government that sex traffics its own people using police force, fraudulent media stories, and accomplices to cover up their crimes likely to experience?
Speak out against government-sponsored crimes like sex trafficking and corruption, especially in a context where the government and its agencies are deeply involved, often face numerous and severe challenges. Here's an overview of the types of experiences and challenges they might encounter. Retaliation and threats. These individuals may face direct threats to their safety and well-being. This can include physical violence, harassment, intimidation, and threats against them or their loved ones. In extreme cases, they may even be at risk of assassination or enforced disappearance. Legal and political harassment. Victims might be subjected to legal harassment, including false charges, arbitrary detention, and unfair trials. They may also face political persecution, particularly if their revelations implicate high-ranking officials or challenge the status quo. Social stigmatization and isolation. Victims who speak out against such regimes often face social stigmatization. They may be ostracized by their communities, labeled as traitors, or accused of lying or exaggerating. This can lead to isolation and a lack of social support. Psychological trauma. The trauma of the initial abuse is often compounded by the stress of retaliation and public financial hardship, legal battles, and the need for security measures can lead to significant financial strain. Media manipulation and misinformation. In regimes that control or influence the media, victim stories may be distorted or suppressed. Propaganda and misinformation can be used to discredit them, twist the narrative, and confuse the public about the facts. Lack of legal recourse. In countries where the judiciary is corrupt or controlled by the government, victims may have limited access to justice. Need for asylum or exile. In extreme situations, victims may be forced to seek asylum in another country to escape persecution. This can lead to challenges associated with being a refugee, such as cultural displacement and difficulty obtaining legal status in a new country. Health issues. Continuous stress, fear, and trauma can lead to serious health problems, both mental and physical. Challenges in mobilizing support. Gaining international attention and support can be difficult, especially if the government in question has significant geopolitical influence or if the international community is reluctant to intervene.
What type of counterintelligence operations could the victim who spoke out against such a government that uses police force to traffic its own victims and fraudulent media stories and retaliation tactics expect to experience from social media influencers paid by this government?
In a scenario where a government is engaging in serious criminal activities like sex trafficking and using its resources to suppress and discredit those who speak out against it, various counterintelligence and disinformation tactics could be employed, particularly in the realm of social media. Here are some potential strategies that might be used by social media influencers who are being paid or otherwise influenced by such a government. Spreading disinformation. The creation and dissemination of false or misleading information to discredit the victim's claims, confuse the public, and shift the narrative in favor of the government. Character assassination. Engaging in campaigns to tarnish the reputation of the victim. This could include spreading rumors, lies, or half-truths about their personal life, mental health, credibility, or motivations. Gaslighting. A psychological tactic where the victim's reality is questioned to make them doubt their own experiences or sanity. This can be particularly damaging and disorienting for the victim. Astroturfing. Creating an illusion of grassroots support for the government's position or against the victim. This involves using fake accounts or paid influencers to create a false sense of public consensus. Trolling and harassment. Direct attacks and harassment of the victim on social media platforms, which can include threats, abusive messages, and persistent trolling to intimidate and silence them. Tying attention. Shifting public attention away from the victim's allegations by creating or amplifying other news stories, controversies, or social media trends, while suppressing the victim's narrative. Infiltration of supported communities. Planting agents or sympathizers within online communities or social media groups that support the victim. To sow discord, spread misinformation, or gather intelligence. It's important to note that these tactics are not just theoretical. Variations of them have been observed in various contexts around the world, used by different types of regimes and organizations.
Is it possible that one victim is the one who is being covered up, who had associations with the highest ranking officials, as the media has reported? However, the alleged victim is actually an accomplice, and the real victim is being abused by the government to hide the murder of her daughter, who was also a victim?
In a scenario where complex crimes and cover-ups are involved, it is indeed possible for situations to be extremely convoluted, including the potential for misidentification of victims and perpetrators. Such a scenario might involve the following elements: misrepresentation of victims and accomplices. The real victim might be portrayed as a perpetrator or accomplice by those orchestrating the cover-up. This can be part of a strategy to discredit the victim and obscure the truth. Media manipulation. In cases where the media is controlled or influenced by the perpetrators, such as a corrupt government, the narrative presented to the public can be heavily skewed. The media might report stories that are false or partially true, intentionally designed to mislead and confuse. Abuse of power. A government or high-ranking officials involved in such activities may use their power to manipulate legal and social narratives. This can include framing innocent individuals, destroying or fabricating evidence, and using law enforcement agencies to harass or silence actual victims. Victimization of whistleblowers. Individuals who attempt to reveal the truth or speak out against the government might face severe repercussions, including further victimization, character assassination, and physical danger. Cover-up of serious crimes. Covering up a crime like murder would involve a high level of coordination and corruption. This might include manipulating or destroying forensic evidence, coercing or bribing witnesses, and influencing judicial proceedings. Misuse of legal systems. Legal systems might be used to persecute the real victim under false pretenses. Further We all at war with ourselves.
kills him, who takes him, who hides him.
What's the weirdest thing you've ever saw?
I can see weird things coming. I can see weird things go. This thing I ever saw. What's that? Let me ask you a question, kid. You see that little baby? I
Sorry, man. Fucking so sorry. I didn't want to do this, but you're a pedophile. Damn gun. Send out tweet, bro. Are you kidding me? Like, what part of you thought, like, to not delete? What part of you thought it was like, whatever. Guys, the world is changing. The world is changing. We're entering into a new era for mankind, and it's gonna be hard for people.
After NGOs, those non-governmental organizations that are helping illegal immigrants, which is fabulous. We've been hoping that she would go, because those NGOs are responsible for the sex trafficking into the United States. Catholic Charities, which is the Hebrew International Aid Society. So yes, both the Catholics and the Jews, the Hebrews and the Catholics, and those non-governmental organizations, we've covered them here on the show. And many more of these NGOs that are responsible for funneling these illegal immigrants into the United States. They need to be cut off, they need to be investigated criminally, because where did all these children go? At the hands of the Biden administration, under the Department of Homeland Security and Alejandro Mayorkas.
She's also said she's going to go after government officials who are thwarting ICE investigations and any investigation into illegal migrants. And so nobody is safe. Recall that American citizens do face penalties for aiding and abetting any. So you need to speak with your own lawyer before you go online and say, I'm not cooperating with this. Yeah. Governor Phil Murphy of New Jersey.
Right. Governor Phil Murphy of New Jersey, who admitted that he has a illegal immigrant, like, living in his house.
Which Tom Homan said, thank you, sir.
We're on this one.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. You're a governor of New Jersey, and you're like, by the way, I'm harboring an illegal immigrant. Follow the law or lose the cash if you're a city.
She's the head, not the tail. She's above and not beneath. I thank you, Jesus, that you're soon to come, and that we just pray that we're ready for your return. Jesus' name we pray.
Also outlined a strategy to go after drug cartels specifically, and organized crime and drug trafficking throughout the nation in general, and also depoliticizing the DOJ. So she's walking in today, though, with a messy FBI. I mean, you've got, like, thousands of agents right now that are worried about, like, being kicked out of the agency because of their involvement in January 6th. So she's walking into an absolute mess that she's going to have to try to clean up. But hopefully we get this Jeffrey Epstein list here very, very soon.
The great silent majority is rising like never before. And under our leadership, the forgotten man and woman will be forgotten no longer.